Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Joining me, as always, are my co-hosts from the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks podcast, Double OT, Terrific Trav, and finally joining us back after he went all the way across the world to save it, and D
straight down the ice.
Went back to the 90s, got that Jurassic Park shirt, and we're here now.
Hey, and if he would have had left the Speed Force in Iceland, things wouldn't be going crazy over there right now. But that's Rebellious D. What's up, D?
Hey, man. How y'all doing?
What up,
Happy to be back, guys.
Hey, I am doing fantastic. It's good to have you back. Me and Trav, we've been holding down the fort. And
hell yeah.
Hey, it's good to see you again. It's good to see your face again, man. But joining us today is somebody that is really awesome, and I can't wait to tell this story when we get into the interview. And that is, what I want to say, Mocapper, voice actress,
Snacker.
Stephanie. What was that, Trav?
The Snacker. Come on, can't leave out the Snacker.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, we came up with the nickname, but first, before we say the nickname, I got to say who she is, and that is Stephanie Panisello. Stephanie, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for joining us. But as we like to call her,
out the guns, man.
I pulled out the guns. We call her Snacking Stephanie. That's what we call her. So, Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you joining us up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Oh, well, thank you. And yes, you were right. I am always snacking. It's kind of ridiculous, but you know what? I'm okay with it. I've been told that I eat like, I eat like a growing teenage boy, I think is what it was. This is the term I've been used.
So do I.
Hey, first question off the bat. What's your favorite snack?
Oh, whoa. Okay, that's okay. That's hard because I've got several, but like one thing that I think people always laugh about, I love dry mango. I don't know what it is, but like I will have dry mango all the time.
It's the Colombian in you.
Maybe it is. It might be that.
Seriously.
Because I do. Mango for me is like, it's on point. Like,
mango is good. D,
do you want
to tell the story about the time where I had got a mango from the store?
I don't remember all the detail. I remember it makes me smile when you say it. So it
makes me smile, and I don't know what the hell.
I need to hear the story about the mango now.
Tell it, Banks.
Okay, so I love mangoes, right? But I've never had a mango, like a whole mango. So,
I remember it now.
Yeah, so it's like I'm on the phone with D, and I'm just like, hey man, like, can I just bite into this, like an apple? And he's just like, no, you can't. No, you can't bite into the mango like it's an apple. And then I asked the lady at the cash register, I was just like, can I just eat this like it is? And she's like, no, you have to cut it up and everything. I was just like, I'm on the road. It's not like I drive around with a knife on me. I mean, like,
yeah.
So
a lot of truck drivers do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, I ate the mango whole. I mean, I didn't eat the seeds.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did, bro. I did.
Was it a mango?
Like a peach?
Yeah, I ate it like a peach, bro. Yeah,
that's crazy.
But you didn't eat the skin.
You didn't
eat the skin too. Yeah, I like the skin.
I don't feel like it was a mango though.
It was a mango because I had never seen a mango in the store before. I think
it was a mango. It was something that required peeling.
How you never seen a mango in the store?
Because, bro, usually when I go to the fruit section, I get the bananas, I get the blueberry, I get the plums, the apple, the kiwi. I never look for the mango. Like, I want to try star fruit. I've never had star fruit before.
Star fruit's really good.
Star fruit's nice. Yeah.
Star fruit's like a seasonal thing. I mean, so like, it ain't just around all willy nilly.
No, and you need to have it ripe. It must be ripe. If it's sour, it's not as good.
I love those kiwi grapes, the cotton candy grapes.
I've seen those, but I haven't had it. Yo, dragon fruit is really good too.
Oh, dragon fruit, real good.
Yeah.
Super fruits.
Yeah, but yeah, before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And D, like you say every time,
I'm back. No, follow, subscribe to the channel. Other episodes of the podcast in the description, and thank everybody for watching and listening.
And Trav, your tip of the day.
Hey, carry a knife on you in the truck. That make sure at all times you got the knife so you can peel that mango and eat it properly. You can, you don't want to be having the banana peels come out.
You don't need it. You can
eat it. You can.
I love that tip, Trav.
Look,
You'll
you
enjoy
can.
it
You're right.
more.
You can. I can't.
You
I'm
ain't
not
yeah.
doing it.
I'm not. Oh,
The Trav
It's gotta be
man
a
can't.
nice ripe mango though. Like you'll get a lot of fiber though.
Y'all eat the kiwi skin too? Y'all just take
Yeah,
a bite
bro,
right into the kiwi,
skin is good.
get the fuzzies all stuck in your
Yeah.
throat.
Are
You
you
hear
Okay.
this guy, Trav?
You know, if we're talking about like this kind of stuff, you know what? Something that people eat with the skin that doesn't affect them, but it bothers the shit out. Sorry, am I allowed to cuss? I don't even know.
Everybody
Now
gets
you
one.
are.
Hey, everybody gets one F-bomb. You know,
Oh,
you all
okay.
get one.
Well, something that bothers me is peaches. I love peaches, but the skin on a peach is the weirdest thing to eat.
It's got
Like-
little hairs.
It's
It's
fuzzy wuzzy.
Yeah,
mean, it's
I
still
think
good.
I would prefer a kiwi skin over a peach skin. So
Wow. That's
weirdly enough,
That is interesting.
interesting.
what a strange.
I thought a kiwi was going, the other way.
Nah, the kiwi skin is good, bro. I know when I was a kid, like my mom always used to be like, "You're supposed to peel the skin off. You're not supposed to eat it." And I was just like, "Why? Like it tastes good." Like she.
Next, we gonna see Banks roll in. He just taking bites out of the banana.
I was just thinking
Oh,
If you
banana.
keep the peel
Okay,
on,
so
it
real
keeps it
talk.
from slipping.
Okay, real talk. Since we're talking about skin here, one time I was eating an orange, right? And I was just like, man, I wonder like if I can eat the
Stop
skin.
it, this guy.
I ate it, bro. It doesn't taste bad. It does not taste bad
Really?
at all.
Come on.
Yeah, it does
I don't
not,
know
like-
that you know what I think. I'm sorry, Banks. You went too far. That was sacrilegious. I don't know if we're okay. with
Yeah.
that.
What
No,
else?
but think
Get
about it. But people peel the skin off and use it for like orange zest. You know,
Yeah,
I
you
told
no,
you.
that's called zesting.
That's
Yes.
different.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not.
you're
That's
They
not
don't
just
the
throw
taking
the
it
whole
very-
I'm
peel
just
in the
saying-
recipe.
don't knock it till you try it. Because
Okay.
I peeled the orange, right, and then like I put it in the blender because it's like my mom always said, it's all going to the same place. You know, just wash it.
The
off
peel's
and-
going to the trash can. The
Yeah,
peel's not
exactly.
going
Yes,
to the
right.
same place.
Now,
Banks, it is all going to the same place, but does that mean that you would have your ice cream mixed in with your meatloaf? Like,
No.
I wouldn't do that because that sounds nasty. But
No
Oh
further
yeah, but the
questions.
orange peel.
now I will say too that I have tried a banana peel and it did not taste good.
Why?
Okay.
Who?
I
Yo,
mean,
you
I'm
gonna be
okay
like-
with this. I like that Banks is adventurous. I think
Yeah,
I think
you-
you should
We gonna
start a
see him
channel
on
the
where you try
TLC
everything
show.
with
Oh.
skin on.
you see my little
I'm
Just
friend?
telling
try
you.
all the skinned fruits, all the skinned everything, and
Yeah,
just see
just
how
try
it
I'm
is.
telling you,
Rate it.
next is this man's gonna be eating dryer sheets for a
Look,
snack.
well,
Look,
Stephanie-
you know what they say? Curiosity killed the cat.
And see,
So just say.
and Stephanie, you can see just from getting to know us that this isn't your average type of podcast because we are going to start talking about your career, but you know, we talk about a lot of random stuff. But I will say that there was one time where I had made a post on Facebook saying that I put ketchup and mustard on my lunch meat sandwich, and people were just like, "Ketchup and mustard?"
Yeah, that is.
And I
weird.
can see your face right
The
now.
mustard,
Stephanie.
I could see.
Yeah.
ketchup and mustard is good up there, man. Put
He's
it on a
just
turkey
weird.
sandwich.
You've
It's
almost
not
turned it
really
into another sauce. If you had mayo to it, that's like a whole sauce. I forget what the name of it is. Like you mix
I don't
the three.
do mayo. I don't do.
You don't do
Oh,
mayo.
oh, I'm sorry. You're above
Yeah, that's
mayo.
where,
I don't do
that's where we
mayo,
draw the
man.
line.
That's where I draw. Like, yo, when I found out that it was mayo and potato salad, I was just like, Grandma, like, why did you ask me to help you make this potato salad? Like,
Unless you get the German potato salad, my favorite with the oil.
yeah,
Wow,
I'm
that's
just
an oily
saying.
one.
Heard
Okay.
it, Trav.
And it's crazy because, like, for me, it's mayo. For my brother, it's butter. And I'll always remember for Thanksgiving one year, I told him everything on his plate had butter in it. He threw the entire plate away.
Bro, who's ever had butter and said, I don't like that? Like,
Huh? That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Oh my
But-
gosh, that's so that's funny. I don't know if you guys saw that like funny video about the little kid who's talking about corn and how much he loves corn. Have you seen this
Yep.
one?
Oh yeah.
I don't think
Yeah,
I've
and
seen
he's like, and then I put butter on it. Like,
Hey,
I haven't seen
hey, you
that.
gotta have butter.
I haven't
on
seen.
something.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I just
How
know
did
for
I
me.
not? I mean, how did y'all not see it and I did?
it is so cute.
weird, 'cause
It's
I'm,
so
like,
cute.
Incognito. They're just-
Yeah, you're in.
Anyway,
I just
sorry.
know. No,
No,
you're good. I
No,
just
no.
know when I was a kid, I used to eat ketchup sandwiches and I used to eat mayo sandwiches. And then one time I had put like a bunch of mayo on the sandwich, and when I bit into it, I felt like I was gonna puke, and that's why I stopped eating mayo.
That was
I mean,
it.
I'll eat it as long as I don't know about it. Like if I
I
don't
can't. I like mayo. I can't imagine taking a glob on a spoon and just sticking it in
Too
my
much.
mouth like that. That's
well, bro, when
so
you're
gross.
a kid, you're adventurous.
No,
man.
I don't think you just eating it. Give it to Banks. He'll eat anything.
Yeah.
Hey man, sometimes like because if I'm fasting and I haven't eaten anything, I just be like, just slide it my way.
Just
man.
put the mayonnaise in my mouth, okay?
Oh, like, hold on, Playboy. Yeah, hold on, Playboy.
Reel it in, fellas.
Yeah, reel it in. But no,
reel it in.
But before we start the interview, one thing I wanted to bring up. Hey, no, we haven't got to the interview yet. We're still at the intro. But it's crazy because it's story time. So when we started leveling up with Benjamin Banks, I remember I had slid in Nick Apostolidis's his Instagram, and I was just like, man, Trav, we gotta land some people for the podcast because we were doing like the Halloween month stuff and everything, and we had ended up getting Nick up here, and I was just like, man, it's like I want to interview Stephanie too, but I feel like at that time, like we were only doing like Halloween stuff, and I don't even think we interviewed Nick for Halloween, did we, Trav? Like, wasn't it like
one for Halloween?
It was sometime later because like he was just so busy. And I remember after that, I was just like, man, it's just like we got to interview the new voice actress that voices Claire Redfield in Resident Evil 2. And time went by, and I had posted a photo in my stories on Instagram, and it was Moody Vision, who he was cosplaying as Luisa from Encanto, and somebody had heart reacted the story. So I was like, yo, who is this that heart reacted the story? So I looked it up. I was just like, oh snap! Like it's the voice actress who voices Claire in Resident Evil, and it's just wild because it was just like the week before. I was just like, man, like I really wish that I had reached out to her after we had interviewed Nick, but back then it's just like we had just started. We were still, learning the ropes and everything, but it's fate because now we're here. And, now we got.
Now we're talking about eating orange peels.
Yeah, eating orange peels.
Long way.
Yeah,
let's go, girls.
We've got so far.
Yeah, we didn't come so far. So yeah, Stephanie, like it's really an honor that our paths cross. Like that. You never know, man. So now we can get into the. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you. So now we can get into the interview.
Yeah.
And the first question I always ask every guest, and I know I already asked you one question, is what is your origin story? Every hero or villain has one. So tell everybody who you are, Steph.
My origin story. Oh, geez. Okay. What kind of, or do you want origin story of Stephanie Panisello or origin story of Stephanie Panisello actress?
We want to hear the story of when you were at the bottom of the sea and you came up to the top of the sea and you walked on land. That's where we want to start from.
You want to know about my birth?
Yeah.
We talk about a man that eats mayonnaise sandwiches and orange peels. Far-fetched.
I mean, I feel like my mom and dad could tell this story better than I can.
hey, put them on three-way.
I remember seeing the lights. No, I'm kidding. I mean, I don't know. I guess little Stephanie. Well, so as you brought up, Trav, I am Colombian and Spanish, and so I'm first generation, American, I guess, here, and grew up mainly in Florida, but born in New York, so I got my street cred, I made it go down. But yeah, always really loved acting, but never thought of it as a career ever. But I was that kid that always wrote plays for my brothers, because I have 3 brothers, and so we always like made them act in them and do all that kind of stuff. And I had my own morning announcement show, which I feel like
that's awesome.
The morning announcement. Hey, I haven't heard that since I was a kid. Jeez.
Right? I got made fun of so bad, though.
Wow, really?
It sounds
in reality, it was actually horrible. I was bullied.
I was so bullied growing up. It's hilarious when you look back. I didn't even eat like mayo sandwiches either, which is crazy.
Orange peels.
Yeah. Hey, but I'm sure you had the safety patrol. They had your back, right?
Yes. I was a safety patrol at one point.
This is the origin story that we need to hear.
The slash and all.
It started with the morning announcement show.
It all started straight up morning announcements. That's when I knew I can make it. No, I never ever thought of like acting as a career. So like I always loved it. I was in absolutely everything, like growing up, like all the plays, all the things. And yeah, but I was too busy. Like I was like, I'm gonna get my law degree, you know what I mean? And I'm going to work for the United Nations, and then I'm going to work for, start an NGO. And so like, I was too busy thinking like, yes, I'll be on Broadway, but I'm not an actress. I'm going to be the president of the United States.
Hell yeah.
I love that though.
Yeah. I mean, you were shooting high.
I was shoot. I mean, I was going to say shoot for the moon, hit a star or whatever it is. Yep. Like, you know what I mean?
Aim for the star so you fall in a cloud.
I've never heard that saying, but I'm gonna roll with it.
What is it? Aim for the shoot for the stars.
I thought it was shoot for the stars.
Right? Yeah, shoot for the stars. So if you fall, you land on a cloud.
I've never heard it.
I think that's kind of.
He just added all that stuff in.
There's another thing.
Well, I mean,
I've only heard shoot for the stars.
Look, but hey, orange pills, you be quiet.
Hey, they used to say if you climb the beanstalk far enough, you can fall on a cloud and hit a star. And
oh, is that
right?
Trav?
Right.
It sounds like Trav made that up.
Yeah,
that must be in Virginia where you're from.
Virginia thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No. But yeah, and so like, I got very lucky. I just kind of came out here on vacation, and it all came to be, which is really, really interesting because it was not a plan. It was just something that I really loved. And my mom was the one that pushed. So my mother was the one that was like, please go out there and try acting. Like, please go do it. And I was like, okay. So people would ask me, so what are you doing out here? I was like, well, my mom really wants me to be an actress. So everyone's like, what?
Hey, we love talking about moms up here. I know that.
Yeah.
Hey, you gotta give your mom a shout out. You can't just.
Absolutely.
What's your mom's name?
I won't say that. I don't want to say that because I don't need people going to find my mom.
Yeah, don't do that.
But both my parents super supportive, like by all means. So I'm very, very blessed and lucky with that. But it was just so funny because the first time that I realized that I could like maybe do it was like I was in South Florida and my mom was like, oh, look, there's a big casting call for a Spanish telenovela. And I was like, well, Mom, I've never acted in Spanish before. She's like, well, whatever, just try. And so it was like, well, when is it? She's like, tomorrow morning. And I was like, what? And I was like, what do I need? And so I looked it up and it said, bring 2 pictures, right? Mm-hmm. And so in my head, and for those people that are non-actors, like, you're like, oh, here's 2 pictures of me. I look good, right? I'm like, I kind of look nice in this. No, you're supposed to have headshots and like professional photos, maybe a body shot, So I arrive with like 2 little photos of myself and I go through this whole casting call of like 500 people and I make it all the way to the last 10. And it was so funny because I remember like being in line and there was these women there and they all had like somebody with them. And then I looked over and they had these beautiful professional headshots. And I looked down at mine with like these 2 little, like not even 8x10s. I think they were 5x7s of like somebody's in the background. And I'm like, oh shit, that's what they meant. And I was like, oh. And so then I was there and I remember the producer looking at me. He's like, where's your reader? And I was like, reader? What does that mean? So I didn't know any of this stuff, but you're supposed to have a person there to read with you for this role, And so all these people were there with their managers and with all this other stuff. And then, so he's like, fine, I'll read with you. And it's so funny because every producer's face was like, where did she come from? Like these are women that we're used to seeing coming in here. And like, this is like a complete noob right straight off the street. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I remember going through the whole process and it's hilarious because so he read with me. And I didn't know what to do. So there was a camera there. So I just looked straight at the camera. But you're not supposed to look straight at the camera when you're acting.
It's going good so far.
Oh my God. I know. I was doing so great until that moment. And needless to say, I didn't get it. But I went from 500 to 10.
Right.
Out of off the street. No idea what the hell I was doing. You know what I mean? And so my mom, when I came here on vacation to Los Angeles, she was like, Stephanie, she's like, you saw what you could do with like zero understanding. She's like, imagine what you can do when you're, you know, like when you have learned and you know what you're doing and all that other stuff. And so I gave it a shot. And I got real lucky, but also I busted my butt. Like, and it's so funny because people, they're like, oh, well, I'll go to LA and I'll move there. And if I'm not famous in 6 months, and I'm like, like, you know, like,
don't even go.
It's so funny. And so like, yeah, I mean, I ended up, my story kind of went all over the place, but I ended up like doing stand-up comedy at night, you know, like I was doing all kinds of stuff and I was just learning, you know, and I was that yes person, like, yes, I want to try this. Yes, I'm in. Okay, cool. You know,
well,
and here I am.
Yeah, I just wanted to
sound like you had a bizarre adventure. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask you a question dealing with that. If you had 1 or 2 tips to give anybody looking to get into acting now, what would you tell them?
I mean, the first thing is get acting classes to begin with. I think it's so funny how people don't think that they should. You know what I mean? Like, so like, I think like getting with an acting class of like some sort that you feel good and safe and like you're having fun in, you know what I mean? Because I think that's really important too, because the biggest thing from being an actor, I think, is creating safety within yourself to be able to play and express yourself fully, you know? And so like, I think sometimes the reason why I see a lot of people not get it is because they're too in their heads and they're too afraid to actually bring out like a real choice that they came up with, you know what I mean? And so I think that's really important. And then the second thing that I love saying, like always, is like, and this probably sounds so simple, but like, go live your life. Like, go do things that excite you or that like feel like they'll inspire you or motivate you in some ways, you know? Like when I love like Tomb Raider, right? And so when I was little, I was like, whoa, Lara Croft, like how cool. But like, what did I do from that? I wasn't just like, oh, it'd be so cool to be Lara Croft. Like I was like, well, shit. I mean, this sounds so cheesy, but I took a bunch of like anthropology and archaeology classes, you know what I mean? In college, like,
kind of cool.
You know, like, I was like, why the hell not? You know, I ended up going rock climbing. I mean, I was telling you guys, you know, I rock.
I was about to just
speaking of Laura Croft.
You the real life Laura Croft.
You know,
hey, well,
like,
look, hey, they just announced
recasting.
They're recasting for Tomb Raider. Hey, Trav knows a lot of people. He's friends with Dwayne Johnson, so maybe he can put it in the
Wait, they're recasting the live action?
Yeah, it was just announced a few days ago. Yeah.
Oh, she's not doing it anymore?
Yeah,
I don't think
they're
it's on
rebooting the franchise.
Yeah, they're rebooting it. It's not on her. Yeah, they're just.
Are they changing the look or why?
I don't know why, because I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought. I mean,
Games are phenomenal too.
I think half of the movie was good, and then when she went to meet her dad, it got weird, and I was like, "This was not as good anymore." But I liked her. I actually really liked Alicia Vikander as her. So
thanks. I'm not surprised.
I agree.
But yeah, no, you guys are right. I just need to get back with like an on-camera agent again. You know, like I feel like my world became all mocap and voiceover and hosting, and I've just been loving it. And so. Yeah.
Well, you never know the different stages in life. You know?
This is true. I'll be honest with you, like on camera has a different vibe. It's a real different vibe. And like, I love being around collaborative people and like, and it's not to say that there isn't this on camera. There absolutely is this, but it becomes very like, this is your part and your role in it. And like, you do your job, I'm going to do my job. Versus like, when you get into like a really collaborative place with like voiceover and mocap, you know, if it's video game or animation, like it's almost like you get all this like trust to like be able to open up and say, hey, what about this? Or what if we tried this? And like people are very collaborative and more open. And I really, really love that. And I also love that it gives a longevity of career, which, you know, on camera, like what I look like is what I'm going to play pretty much. But like I could look like anything and be, you know, in a video game or an animation because it's solely based on my talent and my range, you know?
Yep.
So, and I think I really love that, you know, not to say that like I love on camera, don't get me wrong, but I want to do it my way.
No, for sure. And you seem real fearless. Like, I don't get any vibes of you of not being comfortable in your own skin. You seem real fearless, willing to...
seems outgoing.
Yeah, outgoing, willing to go do anything. And that's probably something that a lot of other people struggle with, is just being comfortable with themselves.
For sure.
And doing stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Voiceover.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Some people like to stay in their space, you know. That's just how, you know, in the shell, you know.
I feel like that's what's that being an extrovert.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I don't. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I think it does. I mean, yes, it's funny because I'm actually both introverted and extroverted. Like, I did one of those like test things and I'm like almost 50-50, which is very interesting. And I'm definitely by all means very extroverted, but I think, like you guys were saying, I think it has to be, it's about, okay, so the reason I did stand up was not because I wanted to be a stand-up comedian or anything like that. Like, I did it because I wanted to learn how to fail so bad that nothing could get to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing.
Interesting.
You know? And so like because you have to write your own material, you have to perform your material. And I mean, you know, you're up there. I mean, some of the shows are only like 15 minutes or something like that, but 15 minutes feel real long when it's all you.
Yeah, even 5 minutes feels very long.
They start flashing that light at you. I mean, because, you know, Stephanie, you know, I'm somewhat of a stand-up comedian myself.
Oh,
you know? So,
yeah.
So, I mean, I did it, you know, kind of similar to you. Like, it was just something that I always wanted to do. It was on my bucket list. And I 100% agree with you, where it's just like that 15 minutes feels like it's an eternity when you're up on stage. And, you know, I'm also a professional wrestler too, Trav. I said it.
Nice.
Damn right.
There's a huge difference from being on the microphone and talking to a crowd of people compared to being on a microphone at a stand-up club and having to have your own material and tell your own jokes, because, you know, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. And if it doesn't hit, you have to know something quick so that way you can move to the next thing, because you don't want to lose the crowd.
Yeah, it's so true. But you know what's so funny? I actually loved the days that I sucked. I loved those days. I would walk off that stage like just huge grin, laughing my ass off, because I was like, well, shit, I survived that. I can do anything now.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Get in front of those crowds and fail. And still
and it's funny, once I started to get kind of good and I started having like more consistency, I was like, all right, I'm done. I did what I needed to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's time to
being
move
comfortable,
on.
being uncomfortable.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Be so comfortable with yourself when you're failing, when you're, you know, looking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, that's just being you, like being in such a courageous, brave place that like, yes, people may not like laugh at your joke or whatever it is, but like, you'll see that alone like inspires other people. Like, it's the weirdest thing, but like, it really does. But yeah, but sorry, Rebelli Steve, those two things, I think they were two things that I said. You know?
I'm glad that you pivoted back to it, because I forgot.
Hey, we snowball up here live. We go all over.
Do.
You know, something that I had tried to ask you, and Trav had said something before it got out, but like, how did you get into mocapping?
Oh yeah.
Oh, mocap specific. I don't know exactly how it occurred, but one of my very first jobs, I was doing a bunch of like facial capture, which is funny because like, and I don't think they do it as much now, but like you could have somebody voice a character, somebody mocap a character, just the body, and have somebody facial capture, like do face cap for something. So you might have 3 people playing one character. And so I started with face cap, which was really interesting. I don't remember exactly, like, I think a job just came in and I forget, I'm trying to think of how it happened, but I think a job came in and I had a director who knew me and was like, oh yeah, you know about all this stuff, right? Because I had a lot of friends that were like animators and stuff. And I'd been getting to see what it was like to be in a mocap studio. And I had to do facial capture for Olivia Pierce in Doom. And she's got an accent in that too. So like I have to make it seem like it's me saying this. Like my face has to do this. You know what I mean? Like it was pretty wild, but that's like how it began. And then, I mean, I ended up doing another face cap gig, I think. And then I ended up doing mocap gigs. And then I did do mocap for the cinematic trailer of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So it's so funny because like as a kid, you know, like I was like, oh, you know, so, but yeah, so like little Stephanie would have been real fucking proud. But is that my one F-bomb?
You used it. Yeah, you used the F-bomb. You can't say it no more.
All right, give us your golden ticket.
Wait. Here you go.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Victory.
Come back in handy.
I did. It came back in handy.
She paused the game, went to the inventory.
Yeah.
Huh?
Hey, look, the enemies were still shooting at her while she had the game.
Straight up, yeah.
Oh yeah, you know how they do now.
So much so, honestly. And then I just kept, and then it became full performance capture. So I learned how to break it down from just facial capture to motion capture, that was just the body, to full performance capture, which was with the voice. Like, I don't know, I got very, I just love movement, you know? And it's so funny because like, there's two types of people that like, I think I meet. And it's like the people that are like, oh, okay. So you're just like, you're just moving and like every person's going to move the same way or something like that. Right. And then I have the other people that overthink it and they're like, well, what do you do? Like, how do you walk? How do you walk? How do I
oh my God. Hey, you making me think about the video of the dude that had the VR headset on. And he jumped at the TV because he thought that he was supposed to jump at the TV and he ended up breaking it. Like that's what that makes me think of. It's
I was thinking as soon as she started describing it, I thought about those weird monsters from the Labyrinth. You know, the ones that can mix and match their heads.
Oh, yeah.
Like the body, and she got rid of all the heads, and it was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
It's like, how do you do this? Like, are you supposed to really punch or what?
And yes, you're supposed to really do that. Like, whatever is actually happening, you're really doing to a degree, because there are some restrictions. Like, you know, if I have a gun and I have to holster my gun,
I like the way you did the gangster gun too.
I know. Hey, look.
What are you pointing at?
Hey,
my New York side. I told you guys. I'm a New Yorker.
Yeah, she's from New York. Hey, look.
Hey.
I had messaged Stephanie before this, and I was just like, "Hey, are we still good for the night?" And she was like, "Yeah, we still hood." I was just like, "Okay."
No.
I was just like, "Okay."
Hell yeah.
Sure.
That was on my phone.
We still hood.
You don't need to apologize and explain. Hey, look, you say you from New York, you know.
That's hilarious. My brothers say that to me all the time when it says hood again. They're like, "Yeah, OG."
Oh God.
But like, so there'll be certain movements that you'll have to like think a little bit more about, and you have to be very conscious of, like, you know, obviously you have a face cam and all that, and then you've got battery packs on you, so you do have to be smart about it. Mm-hmm. But you're just moving. You're just doing natural movement. Now, when you're playing different characters, you want to think about that stuff. Like the way I move for Lara and the way so like for Lara Croft or for Claire Redfield, like I move differently. Right. And that might sound like you would think it would be the same, right? You'd be like, oh, it's just a girl who's strong. You know what I mean? Like, okay, she's a badass. But it's different.
They're two separate characters.
They're
completely different.
Yeah, because Claire is more of like a stealthy walk.
Right.
And Laura's just out there in the hood.
In the hood. You know what I mean?
Real hood.
What it is.
See, that's so funny you say that, because I didn't think of it that way. So the way I saw it, I mean, yes, there's stealthy moments with Claire that when you're playing in game, right?
Yes.
But with Lara, she, for me, is very methodical. She's like, I move here to here so that I don't fall off of here.
I like that description.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
versus, it's more planned out.
Yeah, very.
I guess because they're kind of both stealthy, but Laura's she's more like a hunter. Yeah. She's like a hunter. Yeah. She's on the prowl in a way because she's defending herself throughout the game, blah, blah, blah. And Claire is like, I don't want something to snatch me up.
Yeah.
And so Claire, especially if we're talking younger Claire, you know, because that's also going to be a shift too, as she, you know, as she's getting older, she's a little moving different. So like you know, when she's younger and she's first, you know, dealing with all this stuff, she's just like, I just got to avoid this shit. It's like, oh, I'm going this way. Oh, shit. You know what I mean? She's just reactionary. She's reactionary versus like methodical.
Correct.
Methodical
like
reactionary.
Banks.
Methodical reactionary.
I like those descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well said, Claire.
I mean, well, you know, since we're talking about Resident Evil 2, I mean, we can go ahead and dive into that. So,
whatever you want, yeah.
Hey, sure.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, I'm gonna call it TI. You can have whatever you want. But I mean, like, how was it when you found out that you were gonna be in the Resident Evil game? Because you know, me and Trav, we was talking about this earlier, and you know, going back to Nick, they replaced the original voice actors, and you know, like, how was it, you know, when you found out that you were going to be taking on this huge role? Because Allison Court, she had been voicing her for years.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, it's funny because I didn't know what was necessarily going on. Like, and then the only reason I knew it was Resident Evil was because it's like, don't shoot, I'm a human kind of thing, you know? And so I was like, well, obviously. But that was, you know, that was interesting because recreating a character that existed was challenging in and of itself. And because, you know, I wanted to honor the original performance. So like it was hard for me to kind of like grasp at first until I was talking with, you know, the Capcom producers, you know, and I was like, Mr. H, who was from the original RE2, you know, and I remember talking with them after day one, and I was like, you know, do you want me to do anything differently? Do you want me to be like in a higher register, you know? Because like I was like, do they want it to be like the original where it was like a higher register and the acting was a little different, you know what I mean? Or like, do they want this? Do they want that? And then I was just like, you know, is there anything you'd like me to change? And he just looked at me, you know, and they were translating for him. And he's like, no, you are Claire. Whatever you do is Claire. Mm-hmm. And I was just kind of like,
wow.
Okay.
Makes sense. Because I feel like they casted you because you look so much like her.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess there was just so much trust in, you know, what I was going to be bringing to it, you know? And that just like, that was like a whoosh, you know, like that really like hit me. And then with the director, you know, like our motion capture director, and like voice director, like, Tom Keegan, like he was amazing. And like, you know, I remember sitting with him, and I was like, oh, I don't know. Cause I was like, I was trying to grasp it. Like, how do I keep her original, but like, you know, do all this stuff. And in my head, I was like, well, what are characters I really love? I was like, well, obviously I love Claire. And I was like, and I love Laura, and I love Ellie from The Last of Us. And I was like, these are really strong, wonderful female characters. And I was like, how do I make her like different from them? But like, And like my director was like, hey, Stephanie, he's like, it's completely fresh and new. He's like, whatever it is that you do, you know what I mean? He's like, you're not Lara. You're not, you know, the Claire that was originally done. He's like, you're not, you know, you're not Ellie. You're not any of that. You are this Claire. Claire. And I was just like, and then I was like, all right. So it went from that first statement to that second one. And I was like, I'm in, let's go. And then I didn't question a damn thing. Then I was like, I trusted every fucking choice I was going for. I still played, you know what I mean? Like I was still playing because I love to play. And then I was like, all right, you know what I mean? I'm like, let's try this. Then I would like question. Then I'd be like, well, why does Claire say this? I don't believe she'd say that.
There we go. I love that.
And then it just changed so much. And they were so receptive and so kind and collaborative. And that is why, honestly, I think RE2 was so incredibly successful, is because it was such a collaborative effort with everybody. And we just treated it like our baby. And we were like, what would we love to see? And we were just a bunch of fans getting all fucking excited. Oh, that was 2. Damn it.
That was 3.
That was
3. Jesus Christ.
Got ourselves a sailor in here,
guys. A sailor.
Hey,
crying too.
On the streets of New York. That's how it goes.
Talking to you. Hey guys, let's wrap this thing on.
Bleep me out.
It's leveling up.
Right there.
Hey, I could give her 2, but she didn't. 3?
I saw your eyes get big the second time.
I know, I was like, oh no. Yeah.
No, you're good.
Grandma's about to start beating on that wall.
You're good.
Yeah. But yeah, and so like it just changed everything. And it was so collaborative and so amazing. And we're so blessed that like it was so well received too, you know? Because
you did an awesome job. Yeah.
Dude, no one thought it was gonna be this big. None of us did.
No.
That's what she said.
I don't think anybody thought the game was gonna be that as good as it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, and it's like that's one thing that you hear too when you look at because the Resident Evil 3 remake came out, and like people was just like, oh, it's nothing on the Resident Evil 2 remake, and I want to say like I played that game multiple times just because you had to get the different like the part A and then the part B and stuff, and you know it was just always a challenge. Whereas with the Resident Evil 3 remake, I just feel like you could just get through it like that.
It's a different gameplay. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say. It's not fair to compare because it's two separate completely games.
I mean, it's pretty much the same, but I feel.
But we've got horror. I feel like we've got horror versus a little more action. Like RE3 is very action type of game.
Yeah.
Versus like RE2 has. I feel like it was really special in the sense that like you would start with horror, you would kind of get into like thriller with all the Mr. X stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it was more like a horror thriller more than like full blown action or anything like that. And so I think that's what keeps the pace slow. But you're right. I mean, the playability with it is like insane.
Yeah.
Like I'm streaming and like, I always love to send over some love to people that I see on RE2 and like, and there's still a bunch of people streaming RE2. Like, I mean,
it's a great moment in the franchise in general. That's my favorite game anyway. So, Resident Evil 2 and 4 is probably the second. I mean, and just to be a part of a franchise like that is one hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah,
I would use my F-bomb, but you use mine.
You use everybody's.
Wait, do I have one left? You said I had
technically
one for
you got one left.
That means I got one left.
And then I mean, you did the Infinite Darkness movie, and like, like, how was it, doing the video game and then doing the movie? Like, is it the same type of feel, or do you think that one was easier than the other?
Well, first off, it was a series. It was a mini series.
Yeah, I
called it a movie.
He always calls it a movie because it's the length of an actual movie.
Yeah, it was a series, but like
it's okay.
More like a movie.
He eats orange peels. Give him a break.
I have to say that
he eats orange peels. Give him a break.
No, it's it was different. I think in the sense that. Well, first off, I did mocap for Claire and I did it for Shenmei. So nice. I didn't voice her, but I did all the performance for her. And so in that sense, it was different. And then I also got to go to Japan. So that was different.
That's dope.
That was really fun. So again, flew my mama out with me because why not? Mom love.
Hell yeah. Mom Dukes.
Yeah. She still talks about that trip.
I would too.
Yes, a trip to Japan. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But yeah, and so like it was different, I think, in that sense. That I got to like, kind of play multiple characters, but also it was how do I explain it? It was a little shorter. Also, the storyline was a little different. It did lean a little more Leon heavy. Yeah. So that was interesting because then every bit of moment that I had as Claire, I was like, oh no, milking this shit. Milking the Claire here.
There you go. Hey, milking the Claire.
Yeah, So like I ended up like, like I got to have like a fight sequence in there, which was fun. Mm-hmm. So there's like it's short, but like she's just like, I think she like whacks the guy with the lamp and she's like kicking him, punching him, knocks him to the ground and whatever.
The other guys come in there.
Exactly. Yeah. And then they come in and they stop Claire. Yep. You never get to see how actually strong she can be, but it's fine. And then even when she's like tied up, like, I was like, well, shoot. I'm like, we can't keep Claire tied up. I was like, well, then she's just going to headbutt this guy. You know what I mean? Like, so anything possible to get that fight out, I think was interesting because because in RA2 I got to showcase that a lot more. I think that's where it was interesting, like in a limited, smaller amount of time, how do I still showcase her sense of humor and sarcasm, her bluntness, her heart, and also her badassery, in that, and I think that's where I had to be very strategic. And so that was interesting because I didn't get the breadth of it like I would in RA2. So
yeah, and even though it is a series, it's like under 2 hours for all 4 episodes. So, and like you said, you're not the main focus of the story. So, like you were saying,
we were disappointed about. A lot of people were disappointed about that because we reviewed it. And
we reviewed it, and that's something that we talked about.
Yeah, we were just like, it's just like, well, where was Claire at? And it's like they kind of made Claire like a damsel in distress. I'm just like, yo, Claire's a.
Now I will say this:
but do you not remember the times I fought?
That's right. Yeah, but I do think. I think they've struggled with making Resident Evil movies and animation, and I do think that was a high point in something outside of the video games. Like, to me, Infinite Darkness was the best attempt that they've had at making something outside of the video games that they've put out, for me personally.
Well, I'm pretty sure we'll get a couple more, and it seems like I agree with Trav to the point or the extent that I think they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah,
and I mean the second movie, I'm pretty sure Claire will get her airtime. So
yeah, there has to be because it ended on a cliffhanger. It's just like, well,
it'll be back. Come on,
well, I hope so.
Now, let's hope so. It's Netflix. We never know.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true. It is so true. So, Stephanie, I wanted to ask you, did you watch the Resident Evil TV series that was on Netflix? And if you did, what were your thoughts on it? And you can be honest. We won't.
It doesn't want to let you watch that. She's looking around.
I didn't see it yet. No.
Don't.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
Yeah, don't watch it.
Do they have all of the iconic characters in it?
No.
Yeah, they do. Do you know who Wesker is?
Yeah.
He's in it.
Just look, don't watch it. It's like it did not feel like Resident Evil at all. Like I watched the whole thing in a day.
This guy sent me a video of their Wesker walking down the steps, right?
I said, come on, man.
First thing in the morning, I said, what does he want? And of course it was shenanigans.
What does he want?
It was shenanigans.
It's like he looked like Blade. And it's crazy because when you think of Resident Evil, you think of action, horror, like people trying to survive, and it was more of a teenage drama. It felt like something you would see on the CW.
Or Freeform.
Or Freeform, yeah.
Freeform. Oof.
It's like, come on. This isn't right.
I'd have to see it. It's so funny because people are always like, why don't you do the live action of your character or this or that? And I'm like, first off, I never know when the heck these auditions are coming out. So
Trav put in the word for you. Trav was like, hey, I know somebody. Because you had mentioned cosplay earlier when you were, talking about Lara Croft and all that stuff, and you cosplayed as Claire. And like I said earlier, I do a little segment here on YouTube called Who's That Cosplayer, where I interview cosplayers and whatnot. So, I want to segue into that, and I want to ask you, like, how did you get into cosplay?
As a fan, literally as a fan. When I had moved out here from Florida, I was going to go to my first convention, and I was like, wait, you can dress up as a character?
Hell yeah.
And so I got real excited about that, and I started as Lara. So I did a lot of Lara Croft stuff. Mm-hmm. And I got I was just so excited. Honestly, so excited. And it helped to make a convention more fun for me, and it created this whole community. And then I ended up becoming a part of the Tomb Raider community. Nice. And then I got to, know all of them. And then eventually they did. Oh my God, I have to show you guys this. It's storytelling time, but I have to show you this. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. Go dance.
Hell yeah.
Dance while we wait.
He'll dance while he waits. Me and Travel say,
hey, yo, cool. But it's funny because this happens on Who's That Cosplayer all the time, where a cosplayer will be
I was gonna say, I don't know if anything's gonna top John Swayze bringing us to his back.
Oh,
yeah, John Swayze did.
You got Laura's rifle.
Hey. So I did a survival class inspired by Tomb Raider, and we went out and built shelters and learned how to build obviously fires and how to create like these like drills like to make fire and stuff like that. And then I made the bundle bow, you know.
Oh,
so like I thought
sick.
that was pretty sweet. So like we've got like a bundle bow here.
You could have been in the new Predator movie.
Hell yeah.
Prey, yeah.
Prey. Good movie there.
But yeah, you know, and so like that was like all super exciting for me. And so like I got really stoked. And then you know, for fans, like I started to kind of cosplay as Claire in the beginning, you know, and I did like a whole Claireception where I played as myself and I was dressed as Claire. It's so funny because they call it the lost streams because everyone's like, we wish we had saved these somewhere. And it was like, I was just doing this for fun. Like it was just for everybody. And I remember bringing Nick on, you know, and so like Nick came in for like the Leon section of it. And like,
Claire.
and we would do signings, you know, and cosplay. And then the rest of the Resident Evil people saw this and were like, oh shit. And so like all the new people in the community, like there were actors and stuff were like, oh, we're going to do this. You know what I mean? And it just kind of inspired this whole, you know, like really close, I guess, like community relationship between actors, you know, and our community, which we're super blessed and super excited about. And I never knew, I was just doing it because I was like, yeah, why not? This is fun. Like, you know, and then like everyone was like, you don't understand, like, actors don't do this. Like you're just doing this. Like, so, yeah.
No, but it makes people feel special.
Exactly.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
it was so fun.
Especially because I had saw one of your posts where you had took some pictures with some fans as Claire, and you were like, yeah, they didn't even know that I was the voice of Claire in the game. And I feel like that's what makes it special, is because you go to the conventions and you're just there to have a good time. But then it's just like when you actually meet people and they're just like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that. Like, I took a picture with Claire Redfield, you know?
They don't know. They still don't know. Those people have no clue.
Wow.
They still don't know. Unless they randomly started following me on like Instagram or on Twitter or something. Till this day, no clue.
Well, actually, here they are right here.
Bring them on.
It's crazy because we interviewed Rachel Glass, and you could check out her interview on the podcast or up here on YouTube. And she was talking about because she voices Bakugo's mom in My Hero Academia, and she cosplayed as Bakugo's mom at a con, and she was doing the voice, and like the kids were just like, wow, you do a really good Bakugo's mom impersonation. And she was like, well, I'm the voice actress that voices her. And they was just like, no, you're not.
Yeah,
they never believe you. They never believe you. It's so funny. People never believe you, especially if it's like internet or like if you're on the internet or something like that. So I'm just like, I just keep my mouth shut. I just like, I'll do something. And they're like, wow, you sound a lot like, you know, so-and-so or like this. And I'm like,
it's just like in Shrek when they was like, do it wrong.
Lord,
do it wrong.
I want to do it, and I want to say it was Daniel Radcliffe, but they used to go to San Diego Comic Con every year, dressed up, and just be in the crowd with people, and they had no idea that they were standing there with Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, you know who else did that? Was I can't remember. I'm so bad with names, but
Jack Quaid. He just did it recently at San Diego.
Oh, maybe, probably. I was gonna say it was. Oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank?
It's okay.
Henry Cavill.
Show about. This sounds terrible. Meth, making meth.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
He wore a mask.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think that's hilarious. And he wore a mask of himself, like and dressed up as it, and then like would remove it. It's like,
but how cool is that you can wear a mask of yourself?
One thing just related to kind of like see if you can find me at cons and stuff. Adam Savage always makes a new costume every year, and he'll go to the bigger events. And then you know, if you see me, you know, stop me, you know, take pictures and stuff. So it's pretty sweet. Moving. Yeah,
that's so fun. That's though. Fun, like. Yeah. I had so much fun. You know what's one thing that I got to partake in that was really special? And I was like in like an easy, I guess, like Claire Redfield cosplay. But when I went to Otakon in DC, I don't know if you guys saw this on my Instagram. It was a couple years ago now, but I had met this one couple that came on to meet me and do autographs and all that stuff. And then I ended up I don't do this anymore, so please don't come and ask me to do this. But I ended up lifting this girl, and I was like, do you want to be Sherry in this photo? And I lifted her up, and I carried her, right? And so then the next day I did a panel, and after my panel, the guy who was her boyfriend came up to my handler and was like, hey, like, is it okay if like I ask her to like help me with blah, 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 right? And so I didn't know what was going on. I finished my panel. I walk over and my handler walks over. He's like, hey, he's like, so one of your fans has like a question to ask if you're comfortable to help them out with something, and all this stuff. And I was just like, okay. I was like, what's up? You know? And so he asked, and he's like, so I'm so excited that you're here. We didn't know that you were going to be here. It was such a huge surprise. Me and my girlfriend are giant fans. We actually met, through playing Resident Evil. You're her favorite character. Wow. We've always wanted to do like, I forgot what the thing was. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, and I've been wanting to propose to her. And like, he's like, and I was hoping that it would be like, like we would eventually meet, like, it would have been a Matt Mercer or something like that back in the day. You know what I mean? He's like, it never happened. And then you're here. And he's like, would you feel comfortable with helping me with this? And I was like, yes. And he's like, we can do it anywhere. He's like, yes. And I was like, yes. And he's like, we can do it anywhere you want. I'll meet you anywhere in the convention. Like if it's between a break or blah, blah. I said, listen, I already said yes. And we're not half-assing this.
Wow. Just took charge. They don't know that, he talking to a former hall monitor morning show announcer. You know what I mean?
Had the badge and everything.
Everything.
Top flight security of the school.
Straight up. Well, I think he was so excited, but he was afraid to ask so much of me, and which I respect and I appreciate because I am a human, and I, sometimes people take advantage. But
that is
so
true.
like, but he did ask me, and so I said, okay. I'm like, well, then we got to do this the right way. And I was like, okay, just like there's a Leon and a Claire, right? And I was like, let's find out where the nearest police station is. And so we looked it up. It was straight up 1 block from the convention. Yeah. Okay. And I was like, okay, tell her to meet you at the police station. Right. And then I was like, and then I will arrive with you. I'll be in cosplay and then I'll help you with this whole thing. Right. So then I was like, well, where should we meet? Right. So I was like, well, where should we meet? And I was like, there's got to be a good place to meet. I kid you not. I found a restaurant named Leon on the same street.
Wow.
On the same street to the police station. It was insane.
What are the odds of that?
Right?
Wow.
It was meant to be.
So,
it was
I met him at Leon, and then we walked to the police station, and it was so funny because it was taking a little longer, and then all of a sudden you saw her walking up towards us, and he was like, oh no, that's it, I fucked it up, oh no, she's gonna know. And so me being the actress that I am, we're walking over that way, and then I was like, oh hi, and she's like, hi, and she's like all nervous now because she's like, what's going on, you know what I mean? I was like, oh hi, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, I just ran into your boyfriend, and I was like, and he told me that you guys were meeting over this way. How funny. I was just about to do a photo shoot over there. You know what I mean? I was like, would you like to join me? And so she was like, okay, and she's like really shy. So she's like, we're all walking, finishing up, getting to the police station. And then I was faking it like I was going to do this photo shoot. And then I was like, hey, listen, just like there would be no Leon without Claire and Resident Evil 2, there would be no, and I was like her name and his name. And then all of a sudden he drops to one knee and says everything. And it was the cutest thing. Wow. And then we took pictures. And so he's picking her up. And then I was like, little did she know, in the same weekend, she'd be picked up by she'd be swept off her feet by Claire Redfield and then I was like, the whole thing. It was just the cutest thing ever.
That was a nice deed for you.
Yeah.
Well, I felt pretty blessed. It was cool.
You get a
awesome.
It was cool. And it was all in cosplay. So that ties it right back into cosplay.
So
I'll never forget that.
So do you have any future cosplays that you want to do or that you already have planned?
I'll be honest, I don't do them as much. Like I had one cosplay that I did one year for Stranger Things, and I did nice. I played, you know who I'm gonna say, the mom?
Yeah, I knew it.
I heard that.
Winona Ryder's character.
Y'all kind of look alike. Now that I'm looking at you, like y'all kind of look similar.
Just keep running
yeah,
up that
we're like doe-eyed brunettes, you know. Like, and it was so funny because I had like a whole wall behind me, and like I had like the lights, the Christmas lights. I had an axe and a telephone.
That's so crazy.
And, like,
hell yeah.
And it was is it Kevin Smith, right? Kevin Smith. Right? Am I getting it right? He's from.
Depends who you're talking about.
Yeah, who are you talking about?
Actor.
Well, Kevin Smith, the director.
The director.
I mean, he also acts too, but from Clerks.
From Clerks.
Am I thinking of the same
Jay
person?
Jay and Silent
Him.
That's
so
when she said the name, I was like, that's got to be who she's talking about.
Yeah. And so him and his wife came up to me and they're like, "Oh my god!" And she's like, "I have to take a picture with you." So, like,
that's nice.
Pretty sweet.
It was so funny though because like I feel like I'm going to say this. Sorry guys, but like my when I would dress up as Lara, a lot of guys would be like, "Can I take a picture with you?" Oh. And then when I dressed up as Winona Ryder's character, all the moms were like, "Oh my god, can I take a photo?"
Hell yeah.
So different. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what other cosplay I would do. Like I feel like conventions kind of changed for me, like in the sense because before it was like I was straight up as a fan, and then once I started going in as like a guest, like for work, it did shift the way I do it. And I've been to so many now that like I don't know, unless I like randomly go to one. I do have a convention coming up in Bakersfield this weekend, which is super local to like us here. But I don't know. I don't know if I would cosplay, and I can't really cosplay to these things because people are coming to see me as some of my characters, you know?
Trust me, I understand.
Thanks for starting to run into this stuff now.
Yeah, I'm starting to run into it now because we're going to be at Superstar Anime, and I'm the MC of the entire con. And like they've told me several times because I said I want to cosplay. They're just like, no, you can't cosplay because you're working here. Like people need to see who you are and whatnot. And I'm just like, okay. I'll do it. Hey, look, it's an opportunity. It's a good opportunity, and we're gonna go there and we're gonna knock it out of the park because that's what we do.
I'll be cosplaying for him, so it's okay.
Yeah, what are you gonna dress up as?
Obito from Naruto. Guy with the weird swirly mask. Yeah, I made the mask. I have to finish. Yeah, well, that's what it is. I have to finish painting it, but yeah, I do a little arts and craft from time to time.
Trav, if you want, you can wear my Jotaro cosplay if you want to.
I'm good, man. You know me. I'm going as the best
Triple T
co-podcast host.
Trav, just show up in a tuxedo.
Yeah, just show up in a tuxedo.
Show up in a tuxedo, but you got to do the penguin. You got to do the penguin tail tuxedo.
You see what I got to deal with, Stephanie?
With the top hat and
or do like a thing one, do like a thing one and thing two thing, you know?
Hell
like
yeah. Jesus.
Oh,
no,
God.
But no, I've been asking all the questions. Trav, did you have a question you want to go and
ask? Oh, absolutely, because I know we've been chatting for some time now, but I really want to squeeze this in there. Yeah. Is one of movies that we really fell in love with when it came out, especially Banks over here, was Encanto. And the first time we ever heard about what a loop group was, we had on Brenna Larson, and she used to do loop group stuff. And it blew my mind that this was like a thing that is in the industry that, like, if you were in the industry, you know, but like we would never know what this thing is. So I want to hear about your experience on working on something like that. And then, is this the only time you've done a loop group too? Yeah.
So loop group and Walla, right? So there's two different terms that get thrown around. And so I had done Walla in video games. And so for those people that don't know what it is, it's like, and they do this, by the way, they do this for live action television and movies as well. So when you see like a whole world of like people all around them and the actors that they're talking, like, this is funny, but like those people behind them are silent. They're not saying a damn word. They're talking like, I'm mimicking, like I'm saying all these words so that they can pick up the audio of those people.
Right.
But then a whole other group of actors comes in a studio and is like, okay, you're those people right there having that conversation about that. What are you saying? Oh, you're this person over here that we saw. And like, they're creating the voice and the chatter and the world that's happening all around. And it's so funny because it is very weird. For the outside world to be like, wait, what? You mean all those people that are behind them like are not saying a damn word? But yes, it's true. So it was really fun. Encanto is based on, Colombian culture.
Right.
And it's the first time that was ever represented, in Disney like that. And so that alone was a really big deal. And the fact that they wanted to be really authentic and bring in Colombian actors, Real quick question, Stephanie.
While we're here, I just want to ask, question. Now, you know how classic Disney movies, a lot of those are based off of folk tales and old fables and stuff. Is Encanto, I never really thought to ask, really, because I was like, are these newer ones, any of them based off of other lore or anything? Do you know?
That's a good question. Is this like a
you know what I mean? Any of them, Frozen. I don't know if any of that stuff. Yeah, is any of that stuff based off of fable?
Based on that, I don't know, but I did look into.
Frozen is. Okay.
Frozen might be, I did look into with Encanto, it was historical. So like maybe the magic side of it wasn't, but there was like a lot of history and political history that happened.
Okay.
So, like when you see the grandparents run out and all of that stuff, like that was based on some very dark history,
Or even having like a royal type of family,
kind of like
or a famous
Pocahontas
family type of.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pocahontas
so that definitely was pulled from that.
Okay.
But the magic's not real, is what you're saying. That
the magic's real.
It's always real.
Yeah,
the magic is always real. So but it was a blast. It was such a blast. It was so fun to meet also a bunch of other Colombians, like a bunch of other Colombian actors that I didn't know that I am friends with now. You know what I mean?
Pretty
and
dope.
so like that was really neat. And then I also ended up voicing there's 2 Encanto books, for Disney that I ended up voicing. You know what I mean? So like the audiobooks for that, I ended up doing for them. And so it was a blast.
Wow.
It's such a blast.
Sounds
and
like a good experience.
Yeah.
I can see the grin on your face. Like it's
it is,
The Joker.
and getting to do, like even in the Bruno song that everyone's obsessed with, like we were those little townspeople throughout. Like we're still adding to like the song, like it's all adding to all of it,
awesome.
Just to be a part of it.
It was really fun. It was definitely magical. I was so like just smiling the entire time, but it sucks because I couldn't take any pictures or videos of anything. So I was trying to like sneak a photo while I'm in the studio randomly, but like you get in big trouble. So
and these guys know, because it's just like before Turner Red came out, we was always up here singing "We Don't Talk About Bruno." Then we ended up becoming the super band 3 Town.
We 3 Townies.
Yeah,
now.
we 3 Town now, and we be singing Nobody Like You. D don't oof.
I got to. I mean, they don't know what I deal with when we're not on the show. I mean, it's just he called me, he started, and when we get to the end of every conversation, he just finds a way to start singing these songs, and I have to call him. Thanks. I gotta bring them back.
But I mean, these songs they're classics. Like I love all the music from Encanto. I want to ask you, Stephanie, which one is your favorite song from the movie? If you can't choose, go ahead.
I can't choose. We don't talk about Bruno.
That was feel like everybody.
Favorite. I know, but you know what? It's not so much because. Oh no, you know what? I like the Luisa song too.
Yeah, Pressure.
Surface Pressure.
Yeah, that one was really good too. I think those 2 are my favorite. But the reason why I think we don't talk about Bruno is because I just fell in love with Bruno. Like he's just such a lovable character, and I think that's why it kind of stuck. But the Luisa song, I think that one, her song was damn good. So
my favorite's still the Family Madrigal song. I just love
one too.
For a Disney movie, to me, if that opening song's not a banger, you've lost me. So when you watch it and you got this banger song come on, you're like, I'm in now. You know what I mean? I'm in for the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a rite of passage for a Disney movie.
It is.
Something that I like about these newer Disney movies, because I talked with Dee about this before, is that like a lot of them don't have villains in them. It's just people either going through. Yeah, it's a message, because I remember before Encanto came out, you saw pictures of Bruno, and then the way that they talked about him in the movie, you thought he was going to be the villain. And when he showed up, I was just like, okay, well, what's going to happen now? Like, we've been hearing about this guy the entire time.
Talking about Luigi.
Then it's like you watch it, it's just like, dang, man, I feel bad for this guy, man. Like, it's just like
when his little table with his plate is right there, so he feels like he's attached to the table, the family table.
Oh,
like,
they ain't had to do him like that. Dang, the real villain is the grandma.
And you know what, mother. Too? Thank God for Disney Plus and for people being home on the holidays, because I remember when that movie first came out, I didn't go see it. I'm
the only one that saw it in theater of anybody I know. I'm literally the only person that saw it.
Becca went to go to see it.
Of course, I gotta support.
Yeah, that's literally what he tells us. So
yeah, but you know, when it came out on Disney Plus, I watched it like 2 times the same day because it was just such a good movie.
Good movie.
And and I was really disappointed what they did. Was it at the Oscars where it's just like they had the cast there? And
we don't talk about that. I'm just edit it out. We don't bring it up.
We don't talk about the Oscars.
No, we don't.
Oh my God.
We don't.
That never happened.
I was so hyped. I
know. So
I was gonna say what's really funny is before the movie got to Disney Plus, they was really pushing that other song, and that's why it was nominated over We Don't Talk About Bruno.
What song?
That song's just okay, you know.
What song
it really gets overshadowed. The one that the grandma sings kind of towards the end of the movie.
Oh, okay.
That's the song that was that's the one that won the Oscar.
Oh,
but I don't think Disney knew that We Don't Talk About Bruno was going to be this #1 smash that it was.
It's too catchy, man. I don't know.
It's too catchy.
It is.
Well, Stephanie, who was somebody from the movie that you related to?
Never thought about
Dolores.
Just kidding. Just start shouting out characters.
Dolores. Yeah, just throw them out, right? Random.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
Elisa.
Was it?
Elisa.
Is
it Elisa? Is it Lisa?
Louisa.
Louisa. Yeah, Louisa.
Close. Dude, please, but orange pills.
Hey, don't come after me because you butchering the names.
That is not butchering a name.
You know, I don't know. I think I'm a little bit of probably of a mixture. So, because it's so funny when I was voicing the audiobook and then the director on it, he's like, "Oh, you're definitely like the perfect sister, the one with the flowers." And I was like, "No, I'm not."
Isabella.
Yeah, Isabella. That's what it is, Isabella. Yeah,
it's because y'all wear your hair the same, you know, over one shoulder.
Hey, sis.
You know, I
don't want to sound out of you.
Got the sass.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't think I am like her.
You're not.
No.
I'm getting Dolores vibes for real.
Dolores,
I'm getting Dolores vibes.
Dolores is pretty chill.
Yeah,
fair
exactly.
Enough.
And she was a speedster too, because remember, at the start of the movie, like she was at the house, then she was all the way up the mountain, and then she was back at the house again. Like, how did that happen?
Careful, Banks. Let me talk about speedsters right about now.
God, yeah.
But you know, go ahead, Stephanie. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but that was such a fun movie. Honestly, I think what was really fun for me, honestly, I think it was just like the cultural thing for me personally, and I think that's why it was special for me, like on another level. And like I have so many cousins, by the way. Like my mom's side's the Colombian side, and I think I have like 20 something cousins. I mean, and second cousins, they're probably 30 something. We're a very large family. And I just like in our little WhatsApp, you know what I mean? Because we're all over the world or whatever. And I'm just like sending in, they're like, oh my God, you know, it's like they're representing Colombia and you're in it. And I was like, this is my first, I guess, is this my first Disney project? This is my first under Disney project, not under Marvel project, you know? And so, so that was super exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, Stephanie, I know we're running. The time is ticking, but I wanted to bring up one of my favorite games right now, and that's Genshin Impact. You got to be Cloud Retainer.
Yes.
And that is essentially these guys. Trav's kind of getting into it now. Banks doesn't play really. But
dang,
that's essentially hey, I'm trying to man, I'm in the middle of my question. So just you hold it, all right? No, but Cloud Retainer is essentially one of the gods of the world. And have you paid attention much to how Genshin Impact has blown up since it's been released? What is that like being a part of the project?
Yeah, it's so funny. I didn't go into like the crazy blow up aspect of it, but I have a friend who plays, was it Tartaglia?
I don't know who that is.
What's his name? He's like, hey, girly, or whatever it is. If you don't follow him, he has a cult following. Oh my God, it blew up like insanity.
Oh, yes. Child, right?
Yeah,
they call him Child. Yeah.
Child, yes.
They call him that. Yeah, okay.
Woo!
Are you talking about Gilbert Burns?
Griffin Burns, yeah. Dude, insane. His stuff blew up. But no, for me, like, it's so funny. I kind of just like would go in and go out, and when it all happened, like I do voice all kinds of different characters, so you never really know. And like I feel like my range keeps growing, but it's funny because with Cloud Retainer,
yes,
I went in, and obviously like in the beginning, like she was not a very lovable character. Like she was like
very strict, stern, I guess it would be a good word.
Yeah, very stern, very straightforward. Like she was an adeptus and she's a god and I know everything. And it's like, it's very like, one is not impressed. You know what I mean? And like, it was very like, and then, and then it was funny because then when she did that whole bit with Ganyu and she started making fun of Ganyu and it was like the meanest things ever, but in such a lovable way. All of a sudden, like she had this like persona and this personality of this like mother-ish like character who like just says all the wrong things.
I thought it was kind of interesting because the character, she kind of starts to open up as the story unfolds. And the more you deal and have run-ins with Cloud Retainer, and I thought that was neat. I just thought it was cool that you got to be a part. I was like, wow. And that's here in our chat.
Oh, it was so fun. Honestly, it was so fun. And she shows up a lot. And it's funny because that Cloud Retainer had to say all of the big words, by the way. She has to tell all the stories and say all of the big words and all of the names, which, by the way, are not easy to say.
I understand.
Hell yeah.
She is so funny though, but straight up, like I tried to like look into seeing some of the gameplay and some of the cutscenes. And it was the first time I was like trying to find it. And I was like, oh, let me see what it came out. Like, how did it turn out? So I was like Googling it and like YouTubing it or whatever. And then I was watching it. And then I was like, oh shit, they replaced me. I was like, shit, that's not me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And then that's when I did the voice and I went, oh my God, that is me. And I was like, what? I was like, I didn't know I could do that.
That's crazy.
It is a good show of your range.
It was just like, it was so low and very low. And the cadence is very, commanding and demanding. And like, it was just so wild. Like, but that's definitely a fun one. I do love Cloud Retainer. I'll be honest. Like she is like the lovable, like just
pretty sweet
says the wrong shit every time. Like, Adeptus, which I don't know. Some of the other Adepti, do you like them as much? I feel like they don't have as much there, I
feel like Cloud Retainer, I'm actually having a conversation with some, I don't usually talk about this stuff because, but I feel like she's obviously got most of the lines out of most of them. And it's like that part in the story, I'm past it now, but just thinking back on it, you have a lot of ins and outs with her. Like you always come back and forth to her. And I feel like it's there's like I don't know for anybody, no spoilers or anything, but one of them gets quote unquote assassinated or whatnot. And so the Adapti, they don't really, some of them don't talk to you at all yet. And then some, you're kind of trying to persuade them. And Cloud Retainer is the one that stuck out the most. Now that I'm talking to you, it's like, I felt like that was the one I had the most run-ins with. So.
Yeah. Did you also have, oh God, I hope I'm not spoiling anything.
Well, not for me.
This is all out. Oh, geez. Was there like a side quest thing with cooking?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah, so all that's been out.
Yeah,
so
good.
She had like a whole thing where she was like in charge of the contestants of blah blah blah, and like she like like she's just so ridiculous. Like it's so funny. You never know what's gonna come out of her mouth. Like and then Shenhe, the whole Shenhe thing, So like you learn all about that, and like so she always constantly introducing like these very kind of like interesting moments in there. So
I'm pretty sure we, without going into the details or anything, but I'm pretty sure the Adapti will be back very soon. Just following the way the story goes and stuff. And they did a really big intro for some new upcoming villains, and they're starting to put time into. I noticed because I feel like it's about to kind of not speed up or anything, but some of the names that I came across or Trav told me too. Who was it, Trav, that was one of the Harbingers?
I can't remember.
It was the girl who voices the little girl that was in the Golem's hand.
I don't know.
That's who it was. It was somebody that we either had on or we
There's
knew.
There's just so many people in this game now.
There's a lot.
Yeah. Okay, it was Deneen Melody.
Yeah, Deneen Melody, whose episode you can watch up here on YouTube or listen to it on the podcast.
But I just feel like they're about to kind of go more and more in depth because it's kind of blown up and it's such a popular title. Yeah. And I don't know what they're going to do with those villains, but I think the retainers, Cloud Retainer and all those people will be back soon.
Cloud Retainer got that "Let's Go Girls" energy. You know what I
mean? Hey, we're gonna see. We're gonna see soon.
Just getting in all the big time video games.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you leaving your stamp of approval everywhere. Trav, did you have a question that you wanted to ask?
I was going to say, I don't know how much time we got left, but if we can breeze on, it's so hard to get to everything you've been doing, especially since we've been bullshitting.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. I got like probably one more. I'm also probably need to turn on light because I realize that I'm a natural light person. Yeah, I'm like, it's getting darker. Yeah, it got darker.
Hey, no, that's the upside down. You better be careful.
Watch out.
This is the late night hour.
Hell yeah.
No, but do you hear any bells ringing over there? Just be careful.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you just want to spend 2 minutes talking about doing the what if Betty Ross character, real quick.
Yeah, of course. Well, that one was awesome because that was like, I made it into, the MCU at that point. That is huge. So again, these are like bucket list things or you're like, that would be really cool. But that was a really, really, really fun one. It was interesting because it was like right during like COVID. So there was a lot of things to try and understand, during all that. But I loved it. We hadn't seen Betty Ross in a long time and we had never seen her, with Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. Never. So that was the very first time that we got to see them together. Yep. And so that was really fun. I know that they wanted kind of like the Liv Tyler vibe, so I kind of worked on, kind of giving her that essence, and like, I don't know. I mean, honestly, with that project, like, it was great because it was so, again, sometimes there's those moments where you have a limited amount of time to be as impactful as possible. Right? And you're like, I don't have time to breathe here. I'm like, I got to show you this part of my character, show you this part of my character, and get to this part. And in that episode of episode 3 of What If, like, freaking Betty is getting all of the parts. Like, she gets all the way to the end, like real intense, real dramatic, real sad. Like, it's just insane. But it was a blast. And it was so cool, like, to like see it and then be like, oh my God, there's Mark Ruffalo. Here's my boyfriend.
I love that, man. And now, we're here at the end of the episode, and before we wrap it up, D, he always has his final 2 questions that he loves to ask. And D, I feel like me and Trav, we've been doing a good job asking those questions. But now,
guys, thanks, holding it down. I was out there in Iceland on the hunt, fellas. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but go ahead and take it away, sir.
You got it, Captain. Okay, so question number 1: favorite 80s or 90s movie, or both?
80s or 90s movie? Oh shoot. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. Beetlejuice.
Hey,
Okay.
I just want to go see that on Broadway.
Yeah, I think Beetlejuice is really fun. And then I'm trying to think. That was like, it was late 80s, 90 or early 90s.
92.
Beetlejuice.
92.
92. Yeah, it was like
Beetlejuice
real
was
early 90s. I feel. And then I don't know if I got like a ton into like the 80s movie. Like it was hard. I didn't grow up in like a big cinema family. Like being like Latino, like we just, what we did watch a lot of was freaking like martial arts movies. So like any Jack Chan movie, like we were all like.
You from New York, so I mean we know what it is.
Yeah,
Rumble in the Bronx, like
that's
Rumble in
my
the Bronx
favorite
is a great
Jackie Chan
one.
movie.
But like Drunken Masters,
Drunken Masters.
Oh, that was sick. Yeah,
like,
Jackie Chan, he has some bangers. Let's try it. What's that?
That's what I'm saying. So like, so I guess that. Yeah, because everything else I feel like that I liked was like 2000s. Because Gladiator is like one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, Gladiator's
that's a great movie.
So,
Gladiator's my third favorite movie of all time.
Well,
it's so good. What happened to Epics? I miss Epics so bad.
I know.
So bad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You get absorbed by somebody, or
I love CGI. Obviously, I'm in a lot of mocap and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, I miss Epics. I don't need so much CGI sometimes. Like sometimes I just want real live action. Like when Mad Max came out, I was like, yes, give us some real shit. So, yeah. But anyways, I think that's sort of answered. I didn't give you an 80s movie though.
No, it's all good.
No. Beetlejuice came out 88. Like I said, late 80s.
Oh, there it is. See, look.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Second question. Growing up, was there anything that scared you, spooked you, and stayed with you? Whether it was a creepy lullaby, a story you were told, dolls,
it slowly getting darker and darker in the room that you're sitting in.
Yeah,
Rebellious D. I love how you ended with dolls.
Hell yeah. That's a scary movie from back in the day too, called
That's
Dolls.
exactly it. It's an 80s. It's from the 80s.
Yeah, that's a scary ass movie.
That's shit.
Oh yeah.
So like so when I was little, I was obsessed with scary stuff. And then
hell yeah.
I was watching then on like it was like some sort of like rerun of Dolls, right?
Yeah.
And it was late at night, and my parents were like, "Are you sure you can watch this?
Sure.
Are you sure you're okay with this?" I was like, "Yeah, I love scary stuff. It doesn't scare me." You know what I mean? And so like,
sure.
I'm watching this thing, and then it never got out of my head. That one part where they like grab the woman, and then her like face or head is being rammed into the wall like, on the floor. Never forgot that. And that night, I remember going into my room, and I had like one of like the closet doors that's just like a normal door, right? So I'd always seen it in the movies. You know how like you take the chair and you put it underneath. So I kid you, I loved dolls. Like, and my aunts and uncles, they always used to say I look like a porcelain doll. So they would always get me all these porcelain dolls. So I took all of this shit, threw it in my closet, like put that like chair underneath it. And I remember sleeping and like barely getting any sleep. And I was just like, why? And dolls have been screwed for me ever since.
Wow.
And I like that.
Yeah, go try.
No, I was going to say
I feel like I know what he's about to say.
The scary part about that movie is at the end when you realize that the dolls went into the human bodies and, the real people are on the shelf, in their little doll family now. And you're like, ooh, scary.
Wow, movie. That took me back hearing that one. I had a feeling when she said that, that's where we were going. But are you still a horror person now? Or do you try to lay off of that stuff?
All right, I'm going to be super honest with you, okay?
You're a terrifying person. Uh-oh.
I get too scared. Like, I can watch scary movies, a certain amount of them a year, and that's it. Because my imagination runs so wild that, like, I can't do it. But I play tons of scary games. For some reason, my fan base is like, yeah, Stephanie, we vote this game for you to play. And I'm like, all right. Like, they just like to see me scream and get freaked out. So it's not that I don't appreciate it, because I appreciate it. I think that it messes me up too much. So I don't do it quite as much. But when I do it right.
Well, since we're here and you brought that part up, is there a certain type of horror that really like puts you on edge more than another, like a genre? Or
I
Just
don't
in general,
like
creepy
gore.
stuff.
I'm not a gore fan. I don't care for gore.
Well,
I think it grosses me out. I think for me personally, it's a little bit of like cheap horror, but like
Yes.
Shock
anything
value
that,
thing.
Yep.
yeah, it, like the jump scares when they're done right.
Yeah.
Less is more.
Woo! Like,
Yeah.
or like a really smart, like this movie is so, so simple, the concept, but Lights Out.
Yep.
Such
Oh,
a
yeah, that's
simple,
good, yeah.
simple
I
concept.
just watched a review on that too.
By the way, I'm turning on a light.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
It's just
so funny
crazy.
Is that my?
That's what
Oh,
I-
that's the.
that's what I
It
was
looks
gonna
like
say.
we're watching a found footage
That's
film
my
right
cue.
now. It, is,
That's my
it was
cue
so
for
dark
lights.
in there.
Hell
It was just
yeah.
like when you were talking about dolls, it just kept getting darker and dark. I was just
Yeah.
like, yo.
Lights Out. Phenomenal movie though. Lights Out. Really good.
Yeah, Lights Out. So
I'm a little sad they're
simple.
making a second one.
I-
but
Are they? Okay.
is it Lights Out? I'm pretty
No,
sure
that's
they're
the
making
third
a
No, there's already a second Lights
Yeah,
Out.
there's
too.
already a
See,
second.
There's
I don't-
already a Lights Out too.
It's kind of weird. I don't think they should have done it. Some stuff's, but if it makes money and people like it, blah blah
Yeah,
blah.
then why
But
not?
it was such
Yeah.
a really cool concept.
No, I was gonna say I just finished up a 5-part Jack the Ripper podcast documentary
Bradley Harper?
thing, and
Yeah.
they just talked
Shout
about how dark it was in Chapel Wait, and it's like, it was getting
I mean,
dark in the
it's just-
room, and
Uh-huh.
I
we
know.
talk about dark, you
no,
can't see
I
your
feel like-
hand.
Jack the Ripper is just that's just one of those things too. Some people get freaked out by what could be like movies like Hostel. That's
Yeah.
stuff that
Oh.
can literally it's gory, but it's stuff that's like it's practical.
Or like
I-
human
you
human
just named-
centipede.
You just, I didn't even watch that.
right. It's
You
trash.
just named my second least favorite movie. Is
Hell
Hostel.
yeah.
Hostel?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So what's
My-
number one?
Lord.
My
What is that
first
called,
least favorite movie.
Hang on, I
is,
need to hear this, Banks.
Okay, so let's preface this. My friend was like, "Let's go to the theaters to go watch this movie," and I was young, and like, and he's like, yeah, it's this great movie, blah blah blah. It was House of a Thousand Corpses.
Oh,
Mm.
love that movie.
Oh,
Hey, Trav,
I
go ahead and
hated
mention.
it.
Trav, go ahead and drop the mention. Drop the mention, Trav.
Ugh.
With
What?
Robert Mukes.
Oh yeah, Robert.
Oh yeah, we had
Mukes.
Robert Mukes on the podcast.
Yeah.
He
yeah.
was the sheriff that was killed in House of the Thousand.
Really?
Corpses.
No.
Nah, he was one of the.
He was the tow truck driver.
Oh, he's a tow
Correct.
truck driver.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of we did have the sheriff on too, though.
Lou Temple.
Lou Temple. We did have the
Yeah.
sheriff
Okay.
on who got
Oh,
killed.
you know what movie was scary that was good was Joyride.
Oh, I love Joyride.
I was just,
hey, rest
I
in
was
peace,
just
Paul
talking about
Walker.
that.
I know.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I thought about it too. I saw the trailer.
Yeah,
pop up.
Joyride's a good
I was
one.
like, damn.
Yeah. There was definitely good. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can do horror. Like, Saw, the original Saw, like that was trippy. I just don't. I think I prefer the like.
You like sophisticated horror.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just certain. Some people don't like creature features.
Yeah.
Supernatural. That's why I just asked. questions.
I'm supernatural. I think I prefer supernatural. And like things that are just a little more eerie, and that they just are really smart and take their time to develop.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like gore, kill, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm
Yes.
just like,
Yeah, I feel you.
okay.
I like a little strategy to mine
I
too.
think, well, if you haven't seen it yet, I recommend The Black Phone. I think that you will really like
I didn't
that
see
movie.
it yet.
It's a
That's
yeah, it's really good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
really good.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Fair.
Yep.
If for the few horror films that I'll watch, I will try, but I can't watch it by myself. And then for some odd reason, I have trouble going to the bathroom when I watch scary stuff. Like
God.
I
Hey,
can't.
just
I
take
get
your
all
bow in
freaked
there.
out.
Right.
I get all freaked out. I can't look at a mirror. The light better be on, and then I better like shut that light off and like run. Like
Oh, wow.
I don't know what
Heard
it is. So
Sleeping with the lights on.
Uh-huh.
straight up, like it messes me up. You think I'm joking, but I'm not.
Hey, well, I hope that we don't give you nightmares tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
I gotta ask those
No.
questions. I mean,
yeah, D he
Gotta
asked
know.
those questions. And he brought the fear. I like the freaks come
Yeah,
out at night.
rebellious D. I get
Uh-oh.
it.
She put a
Like,
target on my
At
back.
the
Rebellious.
end, I get you with the scary shit right at the end.
Hell
It's like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's been so funny, and oh, how great, and oh yeah, tell me about this
Gotta-
character. It's like,
Yeah. I see that it's dark out.
What are you afraid of?
Hey, we started talking about orange pills, and now we're talking about
dolls and turn the lights
a happy thing is I just saw on the back of your screen, Banks, there was that little yellow character Bean. That's a cartoon. Whenever that finally comes out, if anybody is into, animated series, more kid stuff, but there's 52 episodes of the show and I play the lead in it. His name is Bean. The show is Bada Bean. And it should be, Bada Bean. And it is
fire.
Like, it is so awesome. Like, it's sweet, it's quirky, it's fun. And like, I'm very, very proud of it. So hopefully
it looks like a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah. When is it coming out?
Yeah, I don't know. So it was Discovery Channel is like, Discovery Kids is who I was doing with, but they had a merger with Warner Brothers.
Yes, they did.
And then they just got some stuff with HBO. So like, I'm guessing whenever all of this happens, I'm guessing it's probably going to be on HBO then, I'm guessing. Okay. So
yeah, I'm looking at some of the cast. We interviewed Cedric L. Williams and Heather Gonzalez. Like, y'all can check out those interviews. They are up here on the channel. And that's the one thing that I love about voice acting is that, everybody has worked. Yeah, it's a family. Now we just need Vin Diesel to show.
You never know. Yeah. Hey, that skyline gonna pull up outside.
But Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us. I'm happy that that everything led to this. It's just like the MCU. It led to Thanos, and now we're here. And it was awesome talking to you. So before we let you go, let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
Yeah, so I am the only Stephanie Panisello in the world. So
nice.
That's
straight up, So if you find my Instagram is Stephanie Panisello, my Twitter, my name is way too long. So Steph, I think it's Steph_Panisello or something like that. Yep. You can also find me on Twitch if you guys like watching streams and gameplay and all that. I have the most amazing community that I love and adore. And it's every Thursday. And that's, see if you get the pun on this one. Because I Claire.
And that's
the line that she has with Sherry when Sherry says, so why are you helping me? And she's like, because I care. So we got a little because I Claire.
I like that you just did the voice too. You had to do that.
You got to.
Gotta go in there. And yeah, I'm trying to think. YouTube, Facebook, all of the things, you know what I mean? But yeah, just Stephanie Panisello, and you'll find me on Instagram, on Twitter, on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook. So TikTok. All the jazz. I have a Discord now. I don't know how the hell I use it, but other people use it.
Hey, you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Yeah. So.
Just turn off those notifications because it's just like they do become.
It gets mad. It gets mad.
Yeah. I'm just like, Jesus, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. Now I usually just step away and on rare occasions might go in and say hi, so yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Hey, you just go in there with your hat in your phone and then you leave on out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, are we going into the country song? Is this where we break into the country song?
Usually we always end episodes singing "Turning Red" Four Town song.
No, we don't. Don't listen to that.
Well, no, D, you weren't here, but when we had Kat up here.
Well, I am here, so we'll look. Take it back to the old school. Version 2.0.
We did do a little karaoke with Kat, though.
Yeah, we did a little karaoke with Kat because she said Turning Red was one of her favorite movies, and we sang Nobody Like You. We can do We Don't Talk About Bruno. I mean, D, I know you like that song. You know the lyrics.
Should I go get another cream soda and come back when you're done?
God, no. I think we ended on We Don't Talk About Bruno.
Yeah, we just don't.
We Trav, let them know where they can find you at.
That's right. I'm on the Instagram at ZK Audio, and I'm also on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK, where I'm also on Letterboxd ranking and rating my daily movie watches. D, where they finding the Jurassic Park shirt wearing boy at.
You can find me as always at rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. And Banks, if they need a hero, where can they find one?
Hey, you can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again, everybody, for watching this interview. We hope that you had a good time, just like we all did. Make sure you check out some more interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reviews, reaction videos, all that good stuff. Check out our podcast where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. The link is down below in the description. And then the video of that interview is up here on YouTube on Friday. So like I always say, keep that pinky up, stay positive. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.